Hello, everyone. Who is anyone? It's 2 o'clock Texas Standard Time, and that's kind of stealing a good public radio program title and line. I am trying all kinds of new stuff today because, hey, the whole point of this is to fail and to never know where any camera is to look at. Come on. Let's see live. Okay, gotta mute that. All right, that's already muted. Hi, everybody. It's Keith, aka Thoughtstorms, and he's in his t-shirt. Well, we're gonna have some fun today, boys and girls. I'm gonna try to figure some stuff out. I had a wild hair to try being live on Facebook on an old tablet, which I am, by the way. Hi, Facebook. So I'm on 3 platforms at the same time. Don't tell Restream because I have to pay if I do more than 2. Yeah, this is all confusing and weird and vague and probably horrible. Okay, Facebook, you can't see this. Hey, by the way, if you're watching this, please join me on Twitch or YouTube. I kind of prefer YouTube. Don't let anybody know. Because subscribing there costs you nothing but does me a world of good. Subscribing on Twitch costs you money and does me no good. I see chat on here. Heath Jackson. Yeah. Well, you can't see any of the stuff I've got going on Facebook, but it is good to see you. What are we doing today? I'm making things. I'm going to show. I got a speaker on Facebook. My friend Heath is on Facebook. I'm going to gather these keycaps into kind of a globe shape. Well, a sphere. Here's a larger cluster. I can't find my cameras. Anyway, I've got all kinds of stuff set up, not for Facebook, but for Twitch and YouTube. This was an afterthought to go live on Facebook because I could do it on my tablet. And so, of course, I've got the cotton mouth from my prescription medicines. I saw that boy of yours on my stream, I don't remember how long ago. This might be good to see from him as well. Okay, this is not going terribly well for anyone. I'm going to move the tablet. I guess you'll have a better chance of seeing something on this Facebook camera if I move it back anyway. Yeah, this is an unorganized mess, and that's two of us here watching now. You and who? Mary or somebody else? Whoever it is, hello. Yeah, I've got more than 1,000 friends on Facebook for weird reasons. I really feel like I'm ignoring my existing streams. Hi, folks. Over there, there's a slideshow of some of my art that hasn't changed in a long time, and people are tired of if they're watching because I tried to refresh it and it didn't work for some reason. I've got to work on that. It's good to have somebody. Current frame rate is too low. Please set the frame rate to. I don't know how to set the frame rate on here. Lord. Yeah, I'll warn you now, Heath. I may have to turn off the live stream or just forget about the Facebook live stream in order to work with the stuff I was planning to do, have been planning to do. I don't want to lose this. Let's put you right there. Okay. Well, gosh, boys and girls, this is me off center on my laptop camera. Really wish I could point the camera without pointing the laptop, but I can't do that. Not with that camera. Fine to you. All right, well. And another thing I want to test with this two-part epoxy putty. Heath, I don't think I've shown you this. Using a different brand, and I both like it and don't. Small tongue epoxy sculpt, but that's what I'm using to join these things up. And I have been saving, a lot of people will know what these are. I've been saving these to take apart and put back together with this gluey putty. To make some cool geometric shapes and stuff. Maybe futuristic looking rockets or something. Hey Heath, who is it that's watching with you besides you? Because I only see your name. Oh, you may not know who it is. 10 minutes ago. This stuff, yeah, it's mostly good. I'm mostly pretty happy with it. Got a whole computer over there that I should be seeing my offline, but I didn't have time because I've been futzing with Facebook. So I've been putting these together like they're chewing gum. Gone now. And to get them to have a spherical outer aspect, I am pressing them while they're still soft into this copper stirring whipping bowl. What do we call that? Oh, I need to. Now everybody can see some of, well, most people can see some of the madness. But yeah, Heath, if you would like to stay with it, it would help me if you could do it on YouTube. That's the best, because that has all of my cameras and things set up. This is just a last minute afterthought today. And I have not cleared off my desk like I desperately need to. I also haven't put on gloves for the clay. I believe I need to wear gloves at least while the two parts are mixing, Because one YouTuber that works with this stuff said that it didn't bother her at first, but after a while she started getting like a contact dermatitis problem, so she went to wearing gloves, and I don't want that problem at all. I used to work with the other brand, Aves, A-V-E-S, Aves, epoxy clay, spelled with an A, not an E. And I didn't use gloves with that. I didn't notice any problems, but I can't find that stuff. I mean, I own a lot of it, and it's in my house, and I can't find it. So I'm trying this other stuff, which is cheaper and sets up faster, which is both good and bad. And I always have some, well, I frequently anyway have some leftover stuff, so I've been making snaky deals and sticking them onto this old-timey looking plastic cheapo plague mask. Showing it to this camera and now to the art camera, which is just getting a glare off of my tablet because I haven't moved my tablet yet. Yeah, I threw myself a real curveball with my late thought of adding Facebook, and like I said, I may have to crimp it off in order to just be able to think about what I'm doing. I've set up software to run on these other ones. But as far as I know, there's nobody on those platforms, at least nobody chatting. I should see them on this screen. You won't see them at all, but I'll usually read what they say, repeat what they say as I answer. Anyway, I didn't give really long notice, so there's no telling if or when people are going to drop by, but we hope they do. So I've got gloves. I've got 2 parts. Clay putty. I've said it before. I am fairly sure that this is just 2-part epoxy, which doesn't start curing until you mix it up, and they take the A part and mix that with a white powder, in this case a white powder anyway. I think probably baby powder, cornstarch, something like that. And then they do the same with part B, but keep them separate, and it's only when you mix them together that'll blind the screen. There we go. Hello everyone. By the way, YouTube and Twitch, I'm also live at the moment on Facebook as a last second idea, and I've got somebody I've known a long time that's chatting with me on there. If you're wondering why I'm more weird than usual, I know that is a high bar. Type B, I'm going to get another lump to mix together, and then we can start putting stuff together. Boy, I do not like the smell of this type, this part B. Little tongue. I never had a smell problem with the Avis. And to be honest, I didn't really notice it the first time I used this stuff. I don't know why that would change over time. May just not have noticed. That is roughly, oh Lord. Can't even tell what that's pointing at because I've got, I got to use glasses to look at this screen. Glasses don't help me on these screens. It's a whole thing that I got to work out. And as I will say many, many times, I've got to be really bad at this for a while before I can get good at this. And I am trying to become a recovering perfectionist. Because perfectionist has silenced me for decades. 6 of them, give or take. And that ain't even cool. So, taking these 2 parts, they look about the same. Yep, one's darker. And my lighting is all messed. Don't know if this will help. I doubt it. Nope, that's not gonna help. Anyway, I'm just gonna mix these together, just like you would 2 different colors of Play-Doh to piss your teacher off. So I can start sticking these clusters together. I put some clusters together off camera yesterday, Friday, I think it was. So that I would have some more things to work with today. Seeing the artwork area, it's good. Okay, you are on which? You're on the what do you call it? God, I have so much trouble pulling up these names. YouTube. Yeah, you know, YouTube. Whoever talks about YouTube? Why would I remember that term of art? Being a YouTube streamer and all. This is about my 6th or 7th kind of actual, not just a testing stream. I hope I'm getting better, but I guess the sound is alright. Yeah, looks like it's coming through okay. I don't have enough light to do what I'm doing. I gotta mix these to where they are the same color. Yeah, that's just unlit. I tell you what, Facebook, come see me on YouTube or Twitch. I'm gonna print this off on Facebook. Come see me tomorrow on those platforms, 2 p.m. Bye. Facebook only. Oh, Lord. Alrighty. I've spoken again. I bought a new camera last week. It's called an Insta3. Oh, those are cool. Those are so cool. You don't have a drone, do you? You can do some really cool stuff with. You don't have to have a drone. I've seen people do all kinds of stuff with an Insta360. You can put it on a fishing line with a fishing rod, fishing pole, and get some cool shots. Yeah, I need brighter light. I don't know if it's just that I'm not used to doing this with gloves, but I'm having a harder time getting this to be a uniform color. Or maybe it's an illusion because I live in a light forsaken place. Oh, I'm going to put another light on the subject. Excuse me a moment, won't you? Talk amongst yourself. I'll give you a topic. Keith is a weirdo. Discuss. All right, kids. For some reason, when I ended the live, it didn't stay ended. That's... Oh, no. That light has a strobe setting. What I will. I don't know why it switched over to the strobe, but I know it's going to give me a seizure if not one of my viewers. I'm kidding, I don't get seizures from strobes, but I do hate them. I mean, they have their use sometimes. Okay. Yes, I do. Come see me, and we can jump the pool and hang out and do a bunch of crazy stuff with camera and so. Excellent, excellent. I've kind of wanted to mess with a drone, but not while the wind chill is 370 Fahrenheit. I am susceptible to heat problems. Alright, I'm gonna get the tablet out the way. It is no longer serving purpose. Lol, you're killing me. I know it. I know it. I have to be real bad at this before I can be good at this. And I have definitely been a bit of both already. So, I've got to point this camera better. In front of me, on the laptop, below the camera where my face is, too large, is my YouTube stream with a delay. If it was the Twitch stream, it would have an even bigger delay. And that is crazy confusing. But I'm getting sort of used to it. Sort of. So, I am going to fit these together in a somewhat jumbly, random way. I need to speed up because this clay sets up fast. I only have one mask to take the excess. If you guys are in the DFW area, a certain person chatting here, I don't know for sure how to pitch your business, but you're still doing Coach's Barbecue, aren't you? I don't know what days or hours or what, but I guarantee you it's good stuff. Because how could it be otherwise? Experiencing a little technical difficulties. Please stand by. There we go. That's a little better. No, it's not. Alright. Trying to be frugal. Not use so much, but once I get these assembled, Heath, the interior of that bowl is about the same size as a beat up globe I bought at a thrift store, and I want to put this globe of peas in the holder for that globe, and decorate that all up. And I plan to put more kind of mortar into these cracks, although I don't know, I kind of like being able to see through it in places. So at least, I don't know, make it look a little better, maybe sand it in places, and possibly paint, maybe some gradient. I have a little inexpensive airbrush, and I'd like to do some gradients. You know how on the thank you, bro, for the plug. It's Coach's Barbecue, Texas. Find us on. I don't know if it cut you off there or what, but unless you find us on. And I don't think I've been to your website. Not in a while, anyway. Woo-hoo. Okay, so I'm just. One of the reasons that I'm doing this, Heath, is it's a proof of concept. You know me. Heath and I took some art classes together, and he makes fun of me, and rightfully so, that, you know, I want to bend the rays of the sun to cook this adobe chair. Yes, I do. Because how you do something is a lot of the charm of it. So, I'm packing, now that I've got it joined in two places, I put it in there, and it will end up having a, yeah, I apologize, I may be off camera there. But I tell you what, I've been watching makers on YouTube for a long time, and I would think things like, what do you call it? They're sculpting something and it's off camera, and you're like, I can hear what you're describing, but can't see it. I tell you what, it's a lot harder to do than to armchair quarterback it later. Okay, you know me, I shouldn't use sports metaphors. I don't get them right usually. Let's see. Heath, something that I hope to do on my channel, while we're doing stuff, killing time, whatever. Vanity Fair does some videos with like singers where they give them like 15 words and see if they can think of a song lyric, a song that has that word as one of its lyrics, and then they'll sing it. And so you can throw me some random words for that little activity. La la. Okay, let's be a little more delicate. Oh, anyway, yes. I realized how I just distracted myself. I'm testing whether or not I can put these plastic pieces together with this clay without having to sand the pieces together. I know that will help. But I don't want to do that. For one thing, there's hundreds of peas here, and some of the other things I'm planning to assemble are going to be just a lot. So I want to see ways to make plastic accept glue and paint without a lot of extra work. Yes, Coach's Barbecue on Facebook. I knew that, but I've slept since then. So I'm putting you in the... I can't remember, Heath, were you around when I made that wooden sword? Yeah, you must have been. I bought this copper bowl way back then. Ended up using a larger copper bowl for the hand guard of that 7-foot long wooden sword sculpture. So there's a little connection with the past. It's all in the past. The rest is history. Alrighty. Another thing, a lot of the people that I know who now know that I'm starting to stream are just, they're not very experienced with watching streams. So I'm going to try to bring them along the way people helped bring me along when I was brand new to watching streams. There's a thing called video on demand. After this live broadcast is over, you can still go to either Facebook. God damn it. I mean, gosh darn it. This is 18 or plus, but so you can go to either platform and watch the video of what it was. It is going to be even less interesting. Please on a flat sheet of that epoxy and cut away the epoxy. Yes, I definitely thought of that, and I appreciate the suggestion. There's some virtues to that and some vices to that. All distracted because the clay's coming loose there. In order for it to make a globe, put it. You know how it's hard for people to make a map of the Earth because the Earth is roughly spherical, believe it or not. And so it's like an orange peel, flattening out an orange peel. So I'd have to leave gaps, and I don't know that. But after I started doing it this way, it occurred to me that I should have just hot glued. Yeah, it's a good thought, and it's I don't know, in a way kind of similar to something. So if I hot glue each individual keycap inside the mixing bowl, Lord, I can't actually zoom this camera. It's just on a gooseneck, so moving it around is tough. But I could just hot glue, boom, and get them kind of clustered the way I want, and let that get good and stiff, and then I could go in and put these things a lot easier, much easier, and much more economically. And by economically, I also mean I would also like for there to be gaps where you see through, like you can see the inside of the globe. Heavens. Everybody hydrate. So, I might actually take up that method. Oh, and then one other thing, for getting it loose after the epoxy is set up, this epoxy goes crazy rock hard. Here's an old one I made like an eyeball. And I mean, you can hammer a nail with this stuff. I'm sure I'm way off camera here. Alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol releases, helps hot glue release, and so I could get the hot glue off of the final thing. And I think once I start putting these clusters together, kind of the way they are in the bowl, this is at least 3 clusters, yeah. Plan them out. I probably will take up that, because then I can, like in this example, can you see? Oh, can you see me? Everything's backwards. Oh, I don't have any small clusters. Anyway, a cluster of 2 could go into this triangular area. Boy, the camera's just not in a good location. I need to work on my cameras. I have more cameras, and I need to try to get some use out of them too. I guess I'm down to my last 2 reasonably large clusters. I've got quite a bit of clay. I'll probably work on the mask a little bit and testing the injector things. I think these things are the coolest. Heath, if you've got any of these, I at least would like these. If you still got some of these, I've got plenty. If you've thrown them away already, but if you think about it, just these, throw in a paper bag for me. I would love that, because I really think there's some cool stuff I can make with that. They're equilateral triangles and they're rounded off, so there's just a lot of cool possibilities there. You can always try it. You could try different things and see which one works for us. Yes, yeah, I'm flailing. I always bring up this one example because you know David at UT Arlington, the glass professor, instructor. I don't know that he's still there. I haven't checked him out in a long time. But anyway, he loved a piece that I did, and all it was a piece of regular window glass, about the size of a typing paper. And under that, I glued down some bent copper wire that still had whatever emulsion, the lacquer. Yeah, I guess lacquer is the word. All over it, and then I cooked it in the kiln. But it looked like I made it look like a massive blow up of my thumbprint. Try to adjust on the camera again. And it turned out really cool. It turned out kind of verdigris color, blue-green. You've seen that. But he loved that. And he was kind of evaluating me as an artist and giving me that you're not good at glass blowing, but I like it. I like your sculptural stuff and your fusing stuff so well that you're still welcome to keep on doing this talk. And that's when I told him that's what I did, and he's like, oh, don't tell anybody that. He's kind of a snob about that kind of thing. He hated it when I brought soda bottles from India and melted them together. Thumbs Up Cola. These were from an Indian grocery store. Is where I got them. And I really liked what I was doing with them. And he's like, don't, never bring that in again. Sound good? I just say sound good, and it would be after he said something that did not sound good at all to me. So I would say, that's what I'm going to do. And he would say, good man. I was not going to say sound good. I'm not lying under oath. Alright. This is actually the last cluster I have ready to go. I can start making little clusters, but I only have the one bowl. So I'm going to change over to a different project with this remaining fairly large snake. Yeah, it's getting really stiff, but I just want to test how well it sticks, like, to this various stuff. This is just going to be I'm just going to stick it a little bit everywhere. I would rather stay on my glove than go on that. That makes sense. That's very glossy. Oh, you don't. If you want glue to stick to plastic or paint for that matter, you can sand it, but you can also, they tell me, put like a butane lighter flame across it, and that makes it more susceptible. Acceptable to it. I'm not using the right words. Yeah, there's a right word there, but I don't know it. Can't think of it. And that would be a lot easier. I could line up a bunch of keys like on a piece of tape and just take one of those candle lighters. Aren't you enjoying seeing my shoulder in a little pentagonal camera view? I'm going to work on that. They make cameras that kind of follow your face. I'm not that worried about it. My face ain't that pretty. I'm going to take some of these apart. They're not easy to take apart, and there is a pretty nasty little needle in there, so don't try this at home and blame me for it. But so yeah, I might have to flame for later things. But I've already thought of another thing I'd like to do with keycaps. Hey, by the way, if anybody has electronics, waste electronics going into the trash electronics, I have lots and lots of keyboards because they stop working after a while, especially the cordless kind. I don't do cordless keyboards anymore, but I have use for keycaps from old keyboards. So if you have that and you can get it to me, or I can pick it up from you, that would be awesome. That's to anybody. And the sound of my voice. So I'm just kind of sticking crap together there to see. I can already tell this is probably not going to hold at all. But that will answer my question. Yep, it's just. I'm told that you can make it a little stickier by putting some alcohol in it while it's still malleable. See, I'm told told by YouTube videos. Good Lord. Yeah, I'm gonna have to work on my whole setup because sorry, I'm hardly ever on my face camera. Let's see. I think I'll make a couple of small clusters with this remainder. You see that part of the process too. And I'm deliberately putting them in a very random way. I don't want the letters all going up one way or anything. If I locate more of these, I'd like to make a much smaller globe, about a racquetball sized globe. Dang it. This is a pain when it sticks to your gloves better than it does what you want it to stick on. Got a racquetball size globe of these things, and then I want to make fingers coming out from the cracks that are reaching way around to like press one of the keys. But it's difficult because they're on the wrong side of the globe. It's just an image that came to me the other night, and I think it might be kind of thematically interesting, especially for me because I go about things the hard way so frequently. Yeah, that's not going to work very well. So I'm going to put some more wormy dealies on the mask. This mask weighs about an ounce, maybe, before I started putting this on here. The first couple of snakes doubled the weight. So I doubt this is going to be a very comfortable mask to wear down the road because of the weight. Adds to the weight. Trickle of sweat, the back of the head. If you may have left, if you haven't, thanks for dropping by. If you have, thanks for dropping by. And if you're still there, send me random words to try to match a song lyric. So I won't feel so lonely. I'm kidding. This is a lonely business. By rights, I should be doing this by myself without cameras, but I've got that look at me disease. Well, I guess I do need glasses for this kind of close-up work. I didn't think I did. I'd also like to get my hands on one of those kind of larger scale Volkswagen bus and Volkswagen bugs and kind of decorate them with smaller snakes, much thinner snakes, kind of make them super fancy, kind of like the limousine on the movie League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I love that thing. Alright, I'm running low on, well, not really. I did everything on the injectors that I wanted to try. I know there's like shrink wrap around there. At least I suspect there is. Okay. And if you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and rather than giving me any Patreon money or anything, you want to just come by and help me move things around and organize, that also would be an incredible blessing. Because I have all manner of mental health problems, and as a result, I'm kind of a somewhat recovering hoarder, and most of what I have hoarded is art supplies or things that I think I can use in art, like keyboards, keys. I also like making art with actual keys, like house keys, car keys, what have you. I hate keys. I like the way they look, the old skeleton keys especially. But in my opinion, the collective noun for keys should be a nightmare of keys, like a murder of crows, or a exultation of larks. Nightmare of keys, because I hate them. I hate what they represent, and they break, and you drop them, and they just quit working, and they get bent. And at their best, all they say is, the people who live around me are no damn good and can't be trusted. And that's a horrible reason for something to exist. I mean, I do occasionally lock my apartment door. I forget more often than I remember. I promise you that. I'm not even doing one of my exaggerations on that. I forget a lot. But, yeah. Also, you got groceries in both hands. How do you work the key? I still want to invent doors that you can open and unlock and lock without using a hand at all. There are people who don't have hands to use. And just like sign language is useful as hell for me, I'm not deaf, but I've worked in theater and television when there's cameras and microphones and people performing and stuff, and you got to be quiet, you got to communicate. It's useful. Blub gun? I hope I didn't miss one of your comments. I see bicycle. I don't know what blub gun is about. I may have missed some of your chat. It only shows the last few comments. Bubblegum? Maybe. Anyway, bicycle's easy. Trying to think of a less obvious than fat bottom girls, you make the rockin' world go round. I know I didn't get to the word bicycle because there's a really good song by the guy who did he did this great song about Shia LaBeouf, actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf. He did that, and then he's got another one where on the video he's riding around on an old bicycle, and it's a beautiful song. I need to find it. Speaking of songs, my thought is when I watch streamers who play music to back them up, frequently I can't hear them anymore because it's too loud or what have you. And sometimes it's cool because I'll discover something I hadn't heard before, but sometimes it's like, I don't listen to that kind of music on purpose. And yeah, the volume is never, oh shoot. I got a worm sticking to itself. I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride my bike. La la la. So, if I don't play any music, it can't be too loud or too what's that word? Boomer. Too out of touch. Alright, I've put a bunch more sneaky deals on and run through the clay I was going to do. What time do we think it is? Wake up, please. About to be 3 o'clock. For long. I also hope to maybe show some fine art, digital fine art. Maybe even sort of give lessons of a sort. If people want to make fine art using Photoshop, etc. Bludgeoned. I think you may have stumped me. I don't think I can think of a song with bludgeon of any kind. Bludgeon. Hey Google, song lyric that includes the word bludgeon.
Sure. Here's a YouTube music playlist called Easy Songs to Sing. Playing on
Hey Google, stop. Oh no.
Okay, stopping stereo.
Oh Lord. My smart speakers are anything but. I was trying to cheat. Bludgeon. You would think with all the, what do you call, musical theater stuff I know, but I have a bludgeon. It is hard to rhyme. At this luncheon, I decided to bludgeon you with my truncheon. Yeah, that's horrible. But it already existed, so I win. No, you won. So far, people have been winning because they've thought of very... Peter, my brother Peter came on once and said, grunt. Believe it or not, I didn't think of a song that had the word grunt. The only thing growing up, the only thing we used the word grunt, G-R-U-N-T, for was for human excrement, poo poo, doo doo. And we would use it as a verb or a noun. And probably grunty. It's supposed grunty in here or something like that. And that was, I guess, our way of getting around the S-bomb or what have you. But now it's weird to have closed captions on a action show and they're fighting, and it just says in parentheses, both grunting. I'm like, well, turn the camera. I don't need to watch that. That's not what I'm here for. And we didn't really have military people because of that use of grunt for. I've always figured, well, I think that's mainly for like Army or Marines grunt. I don't know. I don't know if they use that in Air Force or what. But I'm eventually getting my glove off because I'm reusing them. I'm just trying to keep the stuff off my hands. I've been all over the map here. Let me know, by the way, if you watch a video on demand, the Smiths. I know there's a group of that name, and I probably know some of their songs, but I can't pull any up in my head. Do you think they had one or more of those lyrics in one of their songs? The Smiths. That's a. Hey Google, play the Smiths.
Got it. The Smiths from YouTube Music. Playing on stereo.
I'll have to stop her pretty quick. Sweeney Todd, yeah. Oh, I know Sweeney Todd. I'll have to stop this pretty soon or I'll get copyright struck. Hey Google. Stop.
Sure. Stopping stereo.
They must have been. Was Girlfriend in a Coma and I Know It's Serious? Was that them? Kind of sounds like it was. Sweeney Todd. No, I know that back to front. Swing your razor wide, Sweeney, hold it to the skies. I had to sing that on stage after singing a much lower note right before it. I used to have a voice and range, and I got cast in things, and I could do them. I saw an audition notice, and I was like, oh, I want to try out. Can I do this from a wheelchair? So, I know that I'm all over the map here, but that's kind of good because for one thing, I got somebody chatting, which is stirring it up, and I like that. But yeah, I want to do Photoshop demonstrations. The thing is, I'm not paying for Adobe on a regular basis. I buy your software, I use it until it's no longer useful to me. End of story. That's me. If you're comfortable with the subscription method, that's fine. And, get that money. Stay in business by getting that money. I understand that part too. But I still have CS Creative Suite 2, the student edition or academic edition, and I have it on an old computer that I can't. So far, I'm not able to network to this computer. And I don't think it would work well for me to just put a camera on the monitor of the Photoshop machine. But that's the main thing. That's the main part of my art that people know on Facebook and such. I've got to put lights. I've got to put lights on. That's it. Okay, I'm not sure what you were saying that's it about. That's a long lag, and I apologize. That's not great streamer etiquette. I was hoping maybe I could get somebody, maybe Brian or somebody, to sort of moderate for me, and I could have them on the phone with me in a Bluetooth thing in my ear, and they could say, "Hey, so and so said this," so I would know when to comment. And also, it's handy to have mods. You know, I doubt I'm gonna have enough people that we're gonna have anybody acting up, but you can ban people if they're making sending people to websites to buy things or to hack their computer and crap. So I would like to eventually make that kind of thing happen. I am winding down in my what am I trying to say? I'm winding down my energy level. Oh, chat. More chat to read. Nightbot. Hey, Scroll Reaper. You could also use a text-to-speech reader if you want. Also, hi, I've been chilling quietly and working. Excellent. Thank you, Scroll Reaper. Hope I'm reading that right. I don't... One of these days I'm going to set up this projector I have and have chat huge so I can read it without putting glasses on. Nightbot just put a random thing on there. I'm trying postpartum embryonic development. Oh, well. Yeah, you read it right. Good. I'm the MacGyver of never remembering to bring tools and materials. I didn't deliver that well. I'm quoting myself there, and I think that's funny. I'm the MacGyver of never remembering to bring tools and materials, because it's true. In school, I was the kid who never had paper, never had a pencil, never had a pen. The teachers hated that, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. But you know, we're like, I'm the Albert Einstein of this. I'm the MacGyver of never remembering to bring stuff. Scroll I'm sorry, Scroll Reaper. I conflated you and Nightbot. If you don't mind, I don't recognize your screen name. Oh, you're on Twitch as well. I wonder where you may have come across. I hang out with quite a few streamers, or on their streams. Moko made the sibling poop show to clean up the language a little bit. Although there's nothing wrong with the word shit. But I'm just curious where you may have heard of me. I am still real new at this. This is like my 7th, maybe, non-test stream. Tell you what, I'm not doing art on the camera anymore. Let me... Haha. You know what? I want to fix something here. Even though it's on air. Since I've got the chat there, I'll move my face. It's not being blocked. You just look through the art tab. Oh, excellent. Excellent. Low to high viewership. I'm sure mine's low. Just scroll. And that is an O, not a U. So you're not doing Marvel Comics reference, I suppose. Although the K makes it also kind of medieval sounding. Are you a streamer as well, or just mainly a lurker? Or... And don't answer anything don't feel like answering. So far, I've only had people I know in real life, I think. Yeah, I don't even think I've seen anybody that I only know on the internet come in yet. So you're my first. Nope, but I do get confused for that. Yeah, I was gonna go in for a bit of Nordic vibe. Yeah. Glad you noticed that. Nordic vibe. Um, what was that? There was a TV show. I mean, there was Vikings, but there was a comedy. I think it was made in Norway. It was so good. On one of the streaming services, I can't think of the name. Very, very funny show. Made me think of it, but I can't think of the name. So, yeah, I was mentioning that I'm making things with this clay stuff, testing my ideas. You see that? It's going to take me forever to get good at this. You may have noticed, like, my camera view is pentagonal. I am on the autism spectrum. I have autistic fascinations, and pentagons are one of them. Pentagonal dodecahedrons being the thing that started that with D&D dice and Carl Sagan's Cosmos show. Interesting mask. The mask itself is like 50 cents plastic, thin plastic. But as I run out of places to put this clay, and it starts setting up, I make little wormy things and put it on there, and I'm going to just keep on covering it and then prime it and paint it all kinds of ways. Interesting. The Smiths, and the song is Big Mouth Strikes Again. Hey Google, play Big Mouth Strikes Again. I can play a little tiny bit.
Got it. Big Mouth Strikes Again from YouTube.
I used to sing
Playing
and
on
act,
stereo.
and I might do just a little of that on my stream. This must have the word bludgeon. Scroll, I heard bludgeon. Hey Google. Hey Google. Stop.
Got it. Stopping stereo.
Oh. So one game I like to play on stream, Scroll, is you throw out a random word and I see if I know a song lyric and I can sing it. If so, I win. If not, you win. Heath won with bludgeon and no, not bicycle. That was easy. That's just the kind of random thing that Vanity Fair does with singers in their interviews. It's pretty great. But yeah, I used to do improv, acting, comedy. I used to do murder mystery dinner theaters, which are mostly improv, some scripted. The feedback I've been getting so far as a streamer is from people who aren't used to watching streamers, and they all say, it's kind of great, but you're sort of just faffing around and you don't seem to have a plan, and I like the banter, but maybe if you wrote a script. I may perform some things that I have memorized at some point, but this is an improvisational medium, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to do it. I don't have the physique to do improv on stage anymore, and I miss it. I love doing it. I also liked doing it a lot when I was driving for Lyft. I was a driver for Lyft for more than 4 years, more than 5,000 rides. And I got to do a lot of improv, although a lot of times they would trigger something that I'd already said off the cuff before, and so I brought it out because it was new to them, so it was almost like workshopping stand-up. I have no desire to do stand-up. Uh-oh. Choreography. If there was something said before choreography, it went off the screen and I don't see it. I'll fix that for later streams. Choreography. There's got to be something from chorus line, wouldn't you think? Who am I anyway? Am I my resume? That is a picture of a person I don't know. That song might have it. I was at an audition once and somebody auditioned singing that song. It's, oh God, I need this show. And as the clapping died down, I said to everybody, like, I think there's a hidden message in that choice of song for the audition. I think he stumped me with choreography. I have a lot of Monty Python stuff memorized, like an insane amount. And so I kind of thought I'd be better at this game than I am so far. Yep, you win. Choreography. I wonder if I can write something. Ography. In a way, that's almost too easy to rhyme. Biography. Lithography. I'll think about that. That might be a good thing. When I get stumped, I'll come back on a later stream with something I wrote to use it, maybe. It's an odd word to throw in a song. Well, like I said, chorus line, I wouldn't have been a bit surprised if there had been one. I bet there is one. I don't know that show that well. I never performed in it, and I don't think I ever saw it. No, I saw the movie, never saw it on stage. And Scroll, I don't know if you were here when I said that one of the things I plan to do is show how I make fine art, like for prints or for screen or for video. I'll put these back on because you probably haven't seen these artworks. Moving elements around while on stream. Yep. So I make things like that with probably 12 different bits of software. And I'd like to show people how I do that, how I go from an idea, and I might go back to that. The background that's slowly rolling by is one of my artworks. A lot of my artworks, like that purple and white background, they tile the plane, they tessellate the plane. So you can print it on fabric and keep on going. And I'm going to get a shirt made with some of my artwork on it. And I've also noticed that when I'm looking at a big bunch of thumbnails of the streamers I follow, the thumbnail that they're live, if they have a real distinctive graphic, I know, oh, so-and-so's on. Cool, I can get on his deal. So I'm trying to make it to where you, at a distance you can recognize kind of the look. Ethan, it's good you dropped by. Hopefully I'll see you face to face soon. Yes, that would be great. I tell you what, seriously, if you notice in the weather that there's going to be a really cool couple of days or so, let me know in advance, and I will make extra effort to come see you, because you sort of live outdoors from this apartment. I don't leave my apartment much. Acid trippy. I never did drugs. I'm 60 years old and 60 years straight and sober, but I did have a bad trip on prescription Vicodin when I was in junior high, because I had my first date when I had a migraine happening, and instead of taking half of Vicodin, not Vicodin, Valium. I think I said Vicodin, but I meant Valium. The right answer is Valium. I was supposed to take half of Valium for my when the migraines would start coming on. I don't know if they still recommend that. But the other drug that I took, it was 2 pills, and I was kind of a latchkey kid and waiting for my mom to come get me to go get my date and take her to see Roller Coaster in Sense-Around. This is 1970s. And Sense-Around was marketing speak for really loud speakers. Anyway, so instead of taking half of Valium, I took 2 Valiums. And so quadruple the amount I was supposed to take. And people say you can't trip on Valium. I don't know what to tell you. I tripped, and I did not like it at all. Not a bit. So, and I always used to say, you know, I'm this weird without drugs. God, imagine me on drugs. I'm also terrified of addiction. I've seen what it can do to people, and I will never make fun. I won't make fun of somebody I dislike so bad it's unbelievable. For example, what's his name? OxyContin Man. I guess I just made fun of him. What was his name? Been through the ringer for sure. Well, I hope it's going well for you. I've known since I was a little kid that if I take up smoking, if I take up drinking, if I take up drugs, I'll never be able to put them down. Of course, they haven't invented Mount Jaro yet. Sponsored by Mount Jaro, I wish, because it's hard to get your hands on. Because the state of California has come down with diabetes. So I've avoided the things that you can get addicted to, except for food. And now on Mount Jaro, I can go a lot longer without eating. By the way, the artwork's going by. I'm sure they've probably already started repeating by now. I have the hardest time getting my computers to talk to each other. People give me their hand-me-down computers. This laptop that I'm broadcasting from was a generous gift from a guy that I'd never really even spoken to before on Moco Made on Twitch. Moco Made, MOCOMADE. On their Discord, and I was saying that how I wanted to be a streamer, but my technology wouldn't work, so he just sent it to me for free. I put it now, still deal with addictive traits, but not anything hard, and most my addictive nature is on art. Well, addicted to art is pretty good. I'm addicted to sleep, and I abuse sleep. Sleep comes like a drug in God's country. I'm gonna abuse that drug. You won't believe how many hours a day I sleep. I really do. It's a lot of people self-medicate with medicines that they would probably be better off without. Sleep is kind of one of the best. It has its problems, Try getting me on the phone sometime. Hey, Scroll, what part of the planet do you live? Just vaguely, don't dox yourself. I'm in north central Texas, not far from DFW Airport. Sleep is a good reset button, I bet you meant. New Mexico, you're kidding me. I love New Mexico. I've only lived in Texas and New Mexico, and when I was a kid, it was about half and half. Went back and forth. Yeah, reset. Oh, I lived in very many places in New Mexico. We lived in Portales for a while. Corrales, I think that's all the Alice rhymes. For quite a while in Espanola / Santa Cruz, which bizarrely is the setting for a TV show I need to get back to. The actor from Easy A and Spider-Man and all that, La La Land, can't think of her name, she's on it, and Nathan For You, that guy, Nathan. It's a cool show, and it's set there, and it's about that place becoming, well, one of the things it's about is that place becoming gentrified, which I imagine it is now because of the TV show. But, yeah, that's where we live. That was 10 miles, I think, from Taos, or it was 10 minutes from Taos or something. And we lived in Santa Fe when I was in first grade. Loved it. In the mountains near Santa Fe. Oh. Roughly what part of New Mexico, if you don't mind me asking? The mountains where we lived, Hyde Park Edition, I think they called it. You have to be super wealthy to live there now, but we were not at all. It just was a lot cheaper back then. And I don't know, he got some kind of deal, my dad did. But we lived in, our nearest neighbor was a mile away. The second nearest was a mile and a half. And the road to our house was about that steep. And the bus wouldn't come get us except when it was icy. Which is opposite of what you would think. Close by Texas. All right, I'm thinking maybe, I guess Ruidoso is not that close to Texas. I'm failing on my New Mexico geography. We would always drive through UFO Town. I'm blanking on the name of that too. I had an attitude about Texas, going back and forth. I liked New Mexico, preferred it. Liked the food better, liked the scenery better, liked everything better. I hadn't met Big Bend National Park yet, which is technically in Texas, even though it's right there. And when we would drive, I'd be laying in the back seat, and I would say, let me guess, we're in Texas, because I could either smell the oil field or the cow shit. Close by Texas. Roswell is UFO Town. Yes. And I guess that one's not that close to Texas. I'm blanking on the towns we used to go through all the time. I've been in Texas a really, really long time now. I haven't lived in New Mexico since the early 70s. 1970s. No key for 2070s. And I haven't been to Roswell in forever. I used to tour with my university's choir, and we would almost exclusively do New Mexico and Texas. This is McMurray University in Abilene, Texas. And I sang with them for 9 calendar years. A lot of semesters. Loved it. We hardly ever went outside of New Mexico. That's amazing. I can't think of the name of those border towns. It's not that amazing. I've slept since then. Um, let's see. I'm sure I was on some subject and didn't come back to it. I'm that way. I'm improvisational by nature. It's that way with my art. I try things. If that works, I try to do things in a way. If the material or the tools or whatever, if they don't blow up on me, if it turns out at all, that I can show it as an artwork. I try to design it in such a way that it has a good likelihood of being something when I'm done. And I'm kind of that way on improv stage. I throw everything out. I miss doing improv, and I'm hoping that I can get some of my friends that are improv performers either in person in my apartment or over Zoom. Although improv over Zoom can be really kind of difficult. But more on that at a later time. Also, I have cotton mouth because of my prescription medicine. And I'm running low on water. I'm going to refill it, so talk amongst yourself briefly. I'm in a wheelchair, but it's just because it's a handy chair on this 70s carpet I've got in this crappy apartment. I can walk, I just can't walk fast. My feet don't tell my brain what's happening with the ground. So I am a fall risk. By the way, Scroll, since you're, I think you're the only one chatting, I'll understand if you need to cut out. I'm soloing you out because don't have anybody else to talk to. I'm so lonely. I'm kidding. I'm not that lonely. I would be talking like this even if I weren't streaming. I talk to myself. I always have. I wonder if I'm doing that a little bit less now because I was like, I need to save that for when I'm streaming. But one thing I like to do, and it gets me in trouble, my sense of humor has gotten me in trouble a lot of times. I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings at all. But I do love the funny. Comedy is basically my religion, and improv is kind of my chosen denomination. But like when somebody cuts me off on the road, I'll sing a little song, and when I'm lucky, I can remember it if it's any good. For example, motherfucker, you're the one on whom I want violence done. Motherfucker, I wish there were none of you. Motherfucker, it's the truth. Your existence saps my youth. Motherfucker, I wish there were none of you. So I've had that for a long time. One day, I just improvised all the way past the bridge, all the way to kind of to the end of the song. And it was all good. And I thought, oh, Gretchen, I'll remember that. I didn't remember a word of it. MacArthur's Park is melting in the rain, and I'll never have that recipe again. And I've lost my glasses to read your chat. Chat with myself, but usually just within my head. Crack jokes all the time. I guess I sometimes keep it in my head if there are people around, but I live alone, and I don't know. Even when I'm not alone, sometimes people are like, "Are you talking to me?" No, sorry. So if I had been on stream when I performed the rest of that song, I could go back and watch the video and write it down and memorize it. Not that it's a masterpiece. It's Rubber Ducky from Sesame Street. And the other one that also gets me in trouble, in other parts of the world, the C word, the four-letter word beginning with a C and ending with an unt, is not nearly so bad. It is kind of misogynist to use it as kind of an insult, so I I try to keep it to a minimum more now than I did when I wrote this second song. So please send anybody out of the room that can't handle the word, although I don't actually use the word. I think you've chatted again. Often in my own place, yeah. So this one was, you're an insignificant. I should kick you in your front. You're a big fat stoopy stoop, and you prematurely droop. You're an insignificant. Which I still think is kind of clever. And I don't actually use the see you next Tuesday word. But I definitely make it sound like I have. And yeah, I've gotten in trouble for that one being overheard. As long as you say it with an Aussie accent. Absolutely. You got a emote on there. Lord, I've got to get my chat blown up large on the wall because having to put it on my. I guess I can leave it on. What's weird though is until I move in, the screen is very blurry. So yeah, when I did improv, I wanted to do musical improv, and I was explaining to people, man, it's easy to make songs on the fly if you're not keeping it PG-13. If you can use any word there is, the dirtier the better. It is so much easier than when you got to keep, oh, shoot, I can't say that. Oh, can't say that. So I've got lots of opinions and stuff on improv and what can and can't be funny anymore. Accents. I haven't talked about this on stream yet. What am I trying to say? Accents are tricky because we would do improv and somebody would suggest something, and if it had a Russian in it, I could do a Russian accent and nobody would bat an eye. I could do an Italian accent or spaghetti people, as Trey Crowder likes to say, the liberal redneck. I tell you what, they actually go a little further on this than I believe in doing. But I can do an Italian accent. Basically, if you can imagine a white-skinned person in that country speaking that way, then I can get away with it. But if they're from China, Vietnam, the reservation, it's not cool. And even if you mean absolutely no harm from it, and my thought was, this is improv. I may actually pretend to be a stapler. Somebody say, what? Okay, who are we? What's our situation? You're all office supplies. Oh, okay, I'm staple. Nobody has any problem with my stapler accent. I'm not saying that people from the Orient are objects or staplers or anything, but it's just strange. And I'll confess to being liberal and progressive. I don't talk about politics much, really kind of at all. There's one subject I'll bring up here in a little bit before I sign off, just because I want everybody to know about it, and it's multi-partisan. Anyway, I am liberal, and I do care about getting things right. I say Native American. I'll call somebody a Native American even if they're wearing a t-shirt that says FBI, full-blooded Indian. For one thing, call yourself Indian all day long. That's great. Do it. I call myself a cracker and a Euro trash, and, that's all fine, but I choose to say Native American because they were here before us, and we raped them to death. and kind of still doing it. But then you have the words midget and dwarf, which are just scientific terms for a small person, or planet. Red dwarf is not an insult, but they picked little people. And I'll go along with it if I must, but I really feel like they made about the worst call you can make. You're a little person. I stressed it and repeated it, but it just never had a positive thing. So it's interesting that they kind of take an insult to be proud of, which, I mean, that there's a long history of that. Methodist, Catholic, probably, I'm sure humanist is that way too. A lot of these things were epithets that people were throwing. Oh, I can't stand that guy. He's a Methodist. And they were finally like, well, let's call our church that. And I dig that. I like that. That's fine. That's like full-blooded Indian. Awesome. But anyway, I've kind of done all the artwork I was going to do, scroll, and you may have gone back into lurk mode or left, but if not, or if so, thanks for coming by. Seriously, I'm still pretty new here. If you see me on, maybe you'll drop by again and just say hello. I'm going to wrap it up here pretty soon. I've been going for about a buck and a half, hour 37, and boy, this artwork has gone by 8 gazillion times. I'm going to work on that. Oh, I see some chat. Let me find my glasses. Just been chilling. Sure thing. Thanks for the stream. All right, scroll. Well, my name's Keith. Thoughtstorms on all the things. Facebook, Gmail, basically everything. Fornicating Instagroodles. I spent the better part of a week uploading my own artwork onto Instagram because I wanted to share my artwork there. And then I got busy and didn't even go back and look at it for months. And when I went back, it said, you've been shut down for stealing artwork. I stole my own artwork. In a way, it was flattering that they thought my artwork was good enough for people to steal. But there's a 90-day period you can appeal. I was way past that 90-day before I even knew it happened. So Thoughtstorms at Instagram is either not available or somebody else has it. And as a result, I'm not considering them a viable, what do you call platform? Yeah, dang. I've talked to people that are like, you can appeal. Yes, you can appeal if you know that it happens within a 90-day period. And to their mind, people go on Instagram several times a day, so 90 days going by, that couldn't possibly happen. It gets my angry up. But otherwise, I think I even claimed Threads, which I've never messed with. So yeah, I think I've still got Thoughtstorms on MySpace. I think I do still have a MySpace page. Anyway, on that thought, the only political thing, if you have some time, please, unless you just already know about this, Google an explainer video for ranked choice voting. This is as political as I get, because it's the closest thing to a silver bullet. This country needs it so hard. God, we need this. And my conservative friends agree, my moderates, everybody. Ranked choice voting, it hurts nothing if you are just dead set, no, I only want to have one choice. That's fine. You just do that with ranked choice voting. You can make that call. I want to throw in a Bernie Sanders or a Ralph Nader or something. But at the same time, I don't want to lose the election, so I'll throw in a more viable candidate. And if none of those get enough, they go to my next choice and my next choice. I'm not explaining it well. About a 5-minute video will help you explain it. And I just want everybody to know it. I'd like everybody to spread it around. And in my limited pulpit here, ranked choice voting. There's not much that could help the world as much as that would. And there are places that do it and they love it. So that's all the politics, and I'm going to sign off. Let me think if I have a good epithet or epigram. Oh man, I wish I knew how to raid on Twitch, because I actually have a viewer at the end of my stream and I could try raiding, but I don't know how to do it. I'm gonna have to watch a video and learn how to do that. Good watch. Cool. Like I said, I don't think it's gonna hurt anybody's feelings. Seriously, it's an amazing thing in that all over the political spectrum, it's just good for all of us. How about some Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead? A man, breaking his journey between one place and another at a third place of no name, character, population, or significance, sees a unicorn cross his path and disappear. Well, that in itself is startling, but there are precedents for mystical encounters of various kinds, or to be less extreme, a choice of persuasions to put it down to fancy. Until, my God, says the second man, I must be dreaming. I thought I saw a unicorn. At which point a dimension is added which makes the experience as alarming as it will ever be. A third witness, you understand, adds no further depth. It only spreads it thinner. And a fourth, thinner still. And the more witnesses there are, the thinner it becomes and the more reasonable it gets until it is as thin as reality. The name we call the common experience. Look, look, recites the crowd. A horse with an arrow in its forehead. It must have been mistaken for a deer. I haven't charted out that memorized speech in a very long time. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are Dead by Tom Stoker. Very, very good show. Very good. It's a better play than it is movie, and it's a really, really good movie. So I will call that a day on that. Thank you for coming by. I love your faces. Yeah, I might bust some actual Shakespeare. That's a play based on Hamlet. Has all the characters from Hamlet, but the minor characters are major, and vice versa. It's excellent. It's tied for my favorite play, and for the longest time it was my favorite play. So I am live again tomorrow at 2 p.m. Texas time. I'm not sure what that is, New Mexico time. 3? I don't know how time works. Anyway, 2 o'clock Texas time, Saturday and Sunday. That's seeming to be fairly regular. I may go on at 3 in the morning, but I'm going to try to be pretty regular on Saturday and Sunday because a lot of the people I know still have day jobs. But thanks for dropping by and hopefully watching the video on demand later. Ladies and gentlemen, take my advice. Pull down your pants and slide on the ice. And I will mute the microphone now.